Well, this is definitely the meltdown hole. 100%, this is the meltdown hole. Now let's go toss some plastic. And we've made it to Central Park in Cumming, Georgia. This is one of those courses that has about 19 different layouts. We have 3 different pin locations and I think 3 different tee pad locations. So we're just gonna mix it up throughout the round, but we are starting off with a tricky 288-foot late flip ante shot. Probably suits the sidearm better, but I'm gonna full send the ante shot with my EMAC Truth, and I'm really excited to get this round started. Oh, that looks pretty good. All right, not bad. We might be pin high. It's gonna be a long putt. Let's get started. Not a bad first drive at all. We've left ourselves about 45 feet for the 2, and guys, please do not roast me. I have completely left my putters at Lula, so all I have is my Pro Rhino. Hopefully we can knock a couple down with it. Oh, not a bad run. Hole 2, 515 feet, and yes, I know what you're thinking. It is far too early for a hole like this. There is a gap up there, about 350 to 360 feet. That's where you want to crash to the left. We are gonna full send our Halo Boss. All right, hopefully we didn't skip into the woods. We did skip into a tricky lie. We're still 199 feet to the pin. I know they are hard to see. I apologize for that. I am gonna go with the little flick shot because I'm too nervous of exploding my hand on this tree going for the backhand. We are gonna go with our scepter. Get up there. All right, nice shot. For the 3. Hole 3, 333 feet. I do apologize for the extremely loud traffic noise. There's a major highway right next to us here. The basket is dead straight and downhill. It's barely out of sight of the camera. We are gonna full send our EMAC Truth, see how it does with a downhill throw. Hook up, hook up, hook. Oh my goodness. All right, it did not hook up. I think we'll have a long putt. We have left ourselves a long 74-foot putt. Hopefully we can knock down a long one today with our Rhino. I don't think we're gonna do very well with that today. Hole 4, 276 feet, dead straight, way uphill. I'm gonna go with my Firebird. Hopefully it is enough disc to get up this incline. Oh, that took a wild skip. Not a good shot. We've left ourselves about a 50-footer to a slightly elevated basket. Definitely a tee shot I wish I could have back. Come on. Yes, let's go. What a nice putt with the Rhino. That thing is so gummy, it makes like no sound when it enters the chains. That is a great putt, we needed it. So while hanging out in the clubhouse of Lula, they have really nice, smooth concrete floors, and they have a skateboard that's just sitting around in there. So my intrusive thoughts finally won. You know what I mean? I'm thinking I can still shred. So I hop on that puppy, and my hip has been hurting for 5 days. You know, it's been a very slow recovery, and Craig's in the hospital. So you know what? Sometimes as you get older, you just need to call it a day. Hole 5, 348 feet, dead straight. We have this initial gap that we have to hit right off of the tee pad. It is slightly downhill. We are gonna send our Firestorm. Fight back. All right, I think that'll be okay. I'm not sure though. Firestorm had a pretty nice drive for us, leaving us about 21 feet for the 2. Hole 6, 495 feet. As you can see, we have a full bomber hole. It's basically just a giant hyzer. We are gonna full send our champion boss. All right, I think we got some good distance on that. I am kind of struggling to fully commit on the turf. It is very wet this morning, but let's go see how we did. We did get about pin high, but we probably should have put a little less hyzer on it or maybe gone with a more stable disc. We did not get that sharp left finish that we were looking for, leaving us a very long shot for the 2. Maybe? Oh, good line, just a little short. For the 3. So I do believe that this is the tee pad for hole 7. There is no tee sign. I see a basket way up the hill. The rangefinder has it at 550 feet, probably plays more like 650 feet. That's the basket we're throwing to. And because we are throwing uphill, I am gonna go with our Wraith. All right, maybe we made it halfway. We are still 254 feet. We are throwing to that elevated basket up there. Pretty tricky uphill lie. We are gonna full send our Kotuku. Oh gosh, that was one of the ugliest throws of my life. All right, I think we'll have a putt, but with the elevated basket, it's still gonna be difficult. As expected, we did noodle arm that quite a bit. We have left ourselves a terrifying putt, probably about 45, 50 feet to the elevated basket. Oh, dang it. Dang it, dang it. That was a, you know, the Rhino's doing all right. Hole 8, 399 feet, dead straight. Hopefully you guys can see the flag sticking up over the hill over there. Kind of a tricky shot. You do not want to get a lot of skip. It's probably a lot safer to just throw it into that hill, but we are gonna full send it with our Firestorm. Oh my gosh. I crushed that. That's so far past the basket. This tee pad has kind of a huge slope. I hit a little divot and that was a mess, absolute mess. Well, I am very thankful for this fallen tree here. It did hit us down pretty much exactly pin high. We do have a tricky putt though, probably about 53 feet for the 2. Oh, wow, that is so uncomfortable. Dang it. Hole 9, 387 feet, dead straight, pretty wide open. It is slightly uphill the entire way. We are gonna full send our champion boss. That's a really bad throw. Really bad throw. Terrible. I didn't get any turn on that. We have left ourselves an 82 footer uphill for the 2. Oh, I tell you what, on the long putts, that's when I miss my hammers the most. Absolutely. That didn't even have a chance. For the 3. Hole 9 break, and today I'm gonna revisit a topic that I brought up way back in the day because I have a new addition to it and I absolutely love reading your guys' stories, but that is, what is the worst throw or worst disc golf decision that you have ever seen? So a while back I played with a group of subscribers at a course called Golden Grove, and it has a few water carries, and if you're playing the long tees, some of them can be very difficult. On this particular hole, I think the water carry was maybe around 350 feet, and my partner Tanner had no chance of making it over that water, so I went up first. I threw a pretty decent shot, cleared the water. There's no chance that he's gonna one-up that shot, so we simply tell him maybe just pitch it off the tee pad, pick it up, and let's go play my shot. Now, if you wanted to bail out on this hole, you would just throw an extremely overstable, like spike hyzer. You'd want to land off to the left, and Tanner got this amazing idea that he was gonna try to throw an Annie shot through this backdoor lane with an overstable disc, and then it would hyzer back out. I don't know what, I don't know what he was going for, and he released that disc, max distance, that disc would have maybe went 180 feet, and there was nothing he was gonna get out of it, but he let that puppy go. It never hyzered out, and he threw it straight into the pond. Now listen, we're playing doubles. Like, I have already cleared the pond. Like, he has nothing to worry about. I don't know what the thought process there, what the end goal was, but we were all in disbelief. We could not handle what we just saw. So I want to give a huge shout out to Tanner for being the only person, and I can confidently say will forever be the only person to just donate their disc to the pond playing doubles when their partner already made it over. So that is quite the achievement to hold. So as always, guys, leave your stories in the comment section. I love to read them. If you are new here and you are enjoying the content, please hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. I love to see it. Thank you. Hole 10, 520 feet. It looks like we want a pretty big hyzer shot, and it just continues to hyzer into the woods. It looks like we want to get about 350 and then snap to the left. This looks like a pretty difficult tee shot to really go for, but we are going to full send the Halo Boss. That's terrible. Terrible. As expected, almost worst case scenario on the drive. We're not in the creek, so that is a bonus. The Halo Boss was way too much disc for this situation. I'm gonna have to just pitch out and then make a play for the pin. Well, boring but needed. We are still 206 feet from the basket. It's gonna take a very touchy approach shot to save our par. I'm gonna go down this right lane, small gap to hit, but I'm gonna send it with the Rhino. Get through there, nice shot. Really nice shot. Man, that was exactly what we were looking for. It was only a little over 200 feet, but definitely the best shot so far in our round. Hole 11, 476 feet. It looks like we are gonna enter the woods for a while. It looks like it's kind of a slight hyzer the whole way. You wanna go straight for a while? I'll be honest, I have no idea what kind of shot shape we're looking for here. From the tee pad, it just kind of looks like a wall of trees up there. We are gonna full send the orc, hopefully get a nice flip up, and then figure out our plan from there. All right, we hit 2 trees. I think we're fighting for bogey. So it looks like we are still 248 feet from the pin. There is an arrow up there. I'm not sure if that's a Mando or not. We are gonna take this straight lane, hopefully get a nice Annie, something with some glide. Hopefully we leave ourselves a putt, and of course, we're gonna go with the Jaguar. I don't remember the last time I did not immediately hit a tree with the Jaguar. All right, we are still 68 feet away, and I know what you guys are all thinking. Hunter, you have to throw the Jaguar more. It's your best disc. And don't worry, guys, I plan to. We are gonna full send our Pro Rhino up there. Hopefully get a simple 4 and move on. Slide up there. Perfection. Throws 2 terrible tee shots, hits a routine upshot, and talks about perfection. My goodness. After the best upshot you've ever seen for the 4. Hole 12, 486 feet. It is just a giant Annie the entire way. We are gonna send our Valkyrie up there. All right, we definitely put way too much Annie on that. Let's go see what we got. As you can see, we have left ourselves with this very picturesque 170-foot Annie shot. We are gonna send our Envy up there. Oh, we just barely clipped the inside of that tree. We're gonna have a pretty good tester putt. Big moment for the Rhino here. We do have a creek off to the left, so we do not want to hyzer out. Probably 45 feet for the 3. Come on, Rhino. Nope, that's not it. That's not it at all. Hole 13, 429 feet. The basket is dead straight, but you have to go with a big Annie or a sidearm shot. It looks like the basket is in a beautiful pin location. We are gonna full send our champion boss. Stable up. Oh. Dang it, we did catch a tree branch up there. Looks like it's gonna be a pretty fun approach shot though. We are 136 feet from the pin. Unfortunately, I can't really go for some big Annie shot. I thought we'd be kicked out a little bit more. I'm gonna try a sidearm skip shot. This is not something I really have in the bag, but maybe we'll get lucky. We'll probably end up in the creek though. All right, that was perfect. Didn't skip at all, so I don't know, it worked, it worked. Thank goodness that this rock is here. Hole 14, this is a gorgeous hole, 273 feet, slightly downhill, dead straight, kind of a tunnel shot. It does have a low-ish ceiling, so I think we're gonna rely on some ground play, but we are gonna full send our Envy. Slide up there. Or slide right into a tree. That's definitely one that I expect to do better on. Not great. We have left ourselves a very tricky 78-foot putt. You can go with a laser dead straight putt, or you can go with this kind of high, wide Annie shot, which is what we are gonna do with the P Waka Waka. Oh, nice one. That was a nice one. For the 3. I want some advice and your guys' opinions on turf tee pads. Whenever I go for a long shot on a turf tee pad, I cannot fully commit to it. I'm so worried about slipping because you see a lot of that in other sports, like football fields that have converted to turf have a lot more injuries. What do you guys think of it, and what do you think I can do to try to move past that situation? Man, this mic is really irritating my chest. Jeez. Hole 15, 240 feet, dead straight. There are some trees in the fairway that we're trying to avoid, and we are gonna full send our Envy. Come on, stable up. All right, I'm very happy with that shot. I think it will be a tester putt though. I think we went a little deep. The Envy worked out really good for a much needed birdie. Hole 16, 402 feet, dead straight. We have a very low ceiling. You can try to swing it out super wide for a big sidearm shot or a huge turnover shot. I'm gonna take my Halo Wraith, hopefully get a nice flip up, get some ground play, and leave ourselves a long putt. Oh my goodness. I struggle so much on turf. I am just not committing to any shot. Hopefully we can get up and down for a pretty simple 3. After banging some chains on that awesome tee shot, we still have 196 feet uphill, but I am gonna full send my champion Rhino. Well, this is definitely the meltdown hole. 100%. This is the meltdown hole. We still have about 45 feet from the knee. Hopefully we can knock this one down and move on from this hole. Oh, not a bad little bid. Hole 17, we have a 276 foot, pretty standard hyzer shot. It does look like it goes downhill a little bit. We are gonna full send our Kia. All right, that'll work out okay. Probably should have went with the Kotuku, I think. The Kia did land exactly pin high, so my gut feeling was right. We did rely on that downhill to help us out. We've left ourselves probably a 23 footer for the 2. Oh, you gotta make those. You gotta make those. And rounding off our hectic day here at Central Park, we have 569 feet. It looks like you wanna go with a slight hyzer, try to get up this hill a bit, and then make a play from the pin. From there, we are hopefully gonna get a nice little flip up with our Wraith. Don't hit that tree. Well, we sure did. We center punched that thing. I'm not sure how far away from the basket we still are. It looks like we want a pretty sharp Annie shot to fire up there. We are gonna full send our Valkyrie, hopefully land somewhere that we can make a putt. Oh, that felt perfect. Why did I open my mouth? Oh. Every time with the Valkyrie. That felt so good. Naturally, we did land in this crevice here, leaving us a very routine 74-foot putt. Hopefully we can knock this down and end on an awesome note. Felt like that had to be pretty close. For the 4. And that wraps up today's video at Central Park in Cumming, Georgia. Now, Central Park overall is a pretty decent course, but it is the definition of a city park. And what I mean by that is a few times throughout my round, I had people walking down the fairways. I had some dogs roaming free in the middle of the fairways. That stuff doesn't bother me too much as long as the disc golfers and the trail walkers are paying attention. Now, the first thing that I'm gonna address about Central Park is the signage from hole to hole is pretty abysmal. I got lost a few times during my round. There's 3 different tee pads. Some have tee signs, some don't. Some have new baskets, some have old baskets. It is a bit confusing to say the least. As you guys know, turf tee pads are not my thing, but with my views aside, some of the turf tee pads were in pretty decent shape. Some of them, the ground underneath was starting to give way, leaving them very uneven. As you guys saw, Central has a good mixture of open and wooded holes, and that's where I think those kind of rough shaped tee pads become a lot bigger deal when you're really pushing for that max distance shot. Now, the wide open holes, in my opinion, were nothing special. There was a string in the second half of the round in the woods where you do come across like 4 absolutely gorgeous holes, great scenery, you have some water, everything that you love about some nature disc golf. With Central being open and wooded, I would say it requires more than the average course as far as shot shapes required to lay down a good score. Overall, I'm going to give Central Park the solid score of 7.2 out of 10. I think overall it is a very well-rounded course with the different pin locations, with the different tee pads. I just think that it is definitely in need of a facelift. I think if you level out those tee pads and really revamp the signage, I think Central Park will be a very solid course. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Now it's your turn to go toss some plastic.